So this is my first time on the west side of the Jericho Pier here, and yeah, there's lots of places to launch, lots of rocks to launch off on the west side, not on the east side of the pier. Really, you have to use the dock if you're going to launch off of that side. But this is really one of the first times for me getting used to dealing with this rolling swell. Um, and I mean, there was a pretty strong easterly there, you can see, but the pier blocked a lot of it in close to the beach on the west side. So I was just trying to get used to ripping around. I was on the Sirus here, the Sirus 3XL, which is, as I've discovered, not very good in any kind of swell or waves. So I struggled a bit with that, but I'm experimenting there with gliding, trying to get to the top of those swells and then just ride them as long as I can. Unfortunately, that Cyrus is so slow, you fall off the back of it really quickly, usually. And it's also pretty hard to handle. But yeah, this is one of my favorite launch spots in close to the beach here. As long as you're mid-tide or higher, you're good. At low tide, it's tough. There really isn't much to go with. And there are tons of rocks in front of the bigger rocks, so it's really tough to get over them without hitting your wing. But you'll see that a little bit later on in the video. But I was kind of doing some runs, like sometimes I'd stay in this area, and a few times I tried to pump upwind and get to the other side, and I was able to do that. But it's an awful lot of work, and it gets pretty rough out there. Now, this kid had seen me foiling on the other side, and he actually followed me back to the thing and where I was launching, and he said, "Man, I've been trying to dock start for like all summer now, and I just can't get it." And I said, "Well, what kind of method are you using?" And he's like, "I'm just like running and trying to jump on it." I was like, "Have you ever thought about trying the knee start?" And so he's like, "What's that?" So I was trying to show him here, like, you basically just push it, glide on your knee, and then you have a lot more time to stand up. So he's like, "That's cool. Like, can you do it again?" And so I was kind of explaining a bit, like, how it was for me. Like, I really was too scared to start with the dock start, and scared of falling and hitting my head or whatever. Or my balance just wasn't very good, and I started with the knee start, and I'm really glad I did. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll definitely try that. I'll stick with that for a little while, see if I can get that a little bit better," because he really hasn't had any success with the running and jumping thing. So he's like, "Can you show me one more time?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And this is funny. I was trying to show him how high you can get on the mast. Breach. So yeah, after he'd left, I stayed on this side for pretty much the rest of the session. It was really too windy to go on the other side, and yeah, this is a really fun spot. It's great because it's a beach too. Like, you can you can just set your stuff up on the beach and go for a swim or whatever. On the east side of the pier there, you're not allowed swimming, so you can only go foil there, and that's it. And it's usually really busy too, with boats and kayaks and canoes and schools teaching sailing and stuff. It's pretty much wide open over here, so I like this spot. like I said, there's a lot of these launching, and then I caught my wing on a rock there is what happened. But just it is a little bit shallow there if you're like anywhere below mid tide, which right here is kind of just a little bit below mid tide. Always get a kick out of people's look on their face though, like when I come ripping around the side of the pier and there's people on paddle boards or sometimes even jet skis and stuff, and yeah, they're just like, what is that? How are you doing that? It's just, and it's not a motor, you know, it's not making a loud noise or anything. Now later Jamie had showed up, and he just got his new rig, which is basically a Tacoon clone. And I mean, his board is a lot bigger than mine. I think that was the biggest thing. I was trying to get it started, and the big board, like it was a 120 centimeter board, was throwing me. But I did sort of get it. I just couldn't keep it going because I'm not used to where to be on that big board. So yeah, anyways, it was a really fun session, and I'm really looking forward to coming back here, which, as it turns out, came back again the very next day. There's some buoys and things that you can use as kind of goals, places to go rip around out to, and there's another one further to the west there. You can see Jamie's trying to get the knee start on his new rig.